Hi, everybody. Dan Ullman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Sunday, February the 18th. Race number 9 at Sunland Park. 3-year-olds hoping to find their way to the Kentucky Derby. They got to get through the Sunland Derby, though. Let's take a look at this field. We're going 1 mile and a 16th. $400,000 is the purse. A field of 8 headlined by the number 5, Stronghold. That's your 5-2 morning line favorite, Mike. Already multiple graded stakes place and getting away from some Bob Baffert train runners in Southern California.
If nothing else, it's a better spot for him. So we'll see how it all plays out. That he's certainly run well enough to be considered the favorite in this race. There are a couple of really nice looking shippers in here, Dan. They're going to take on, the local horses who some of them have actually been pretty good.
Timeform US believes there'll be some pace in this race. You'll note the red bar indicating the potential for a fast pace. Stronghold, the 5, actually has the rare distinction of having the best early pace rating and the best late pace rating. I still don't think he's going to be on the lead, Mike. I think the 2's going to show some speed. I think that the 1's going to show some speed, no trouble. And I wouldn't be surprised if the 4 Lucky Jeremy's close as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how this pace is going to play out. Maybe it'll be fast and maybe it'll be contested. When I went through the race, I didn't necessarily look at it like that way, but it's possible.
No Trouble is the number 1. This horse will be stretching out for the first time. This is his 3rd lifetime start. Here's his 2nd lifetime start. 6.5 furlong maiden special weight at Sunland Park. He had Lasix this day. Of course, no Lasix in the Sunland Derby. He pressed the pace. He went on to win as an odds-on favorite should.
Yeah, I mean, he just looked tough on paper in this race, and it kind of feels like he just found the right field. I'll admit, he wins this race super easily, though. I mean, he never really had to be asked and just gets away from these horses. His debut was fine, Dan. He didn't run as well as A Lot of Luck in that race, who's also in here, but this horse ran fine that day.
The 2 is Surrounded by Angels. This is a Calbred who's raced twice at Sunland Park, including one 2-turn event. That was second time out where he was no match for Lucky Jeremy. He's going to have to do a lot better, but he could be a pace factor here.
He could. His debut was pretty good, probably going shorter than he wants to go. And listen, he was no match for those 2 horses in the prep for this, but it's not like he didn't do any running at all in there. I mean, he went after A Lot of Luck on the lead in there and made him race all the way to the top of the stretch before he got tired.
Favored Stronghold is not the only Southern California invader in the field. The 3 Curlin's Chaos will move turf to dirt. This is a Calbred by Clubhouse Ride. He scored on grass last time out, but was it grass or was it actually getting out in distance that made the difference?
It's the major question you're going to have to answer if you want to bet him in here, Dan. I don't know what the answer to that question is, but he certainly did improve in his most recent start, and it's not like his 2 dirt races are terrible performances. I don't think I would want the 5-1 morning line on him, but maybe he'll do better.
This will be his first time against Open Company after 4 races against fellow Calbreds. I have a feeling that after Bill Morey got Lucky Jeremy to graduate at Churchill Downs second time out, that he circled the Sunland Derby because he came to Sunland Park for the local prep for this race, the Riley Allison Derby, and Lucky Jeremy looked good in his first 2-turn test. He sat off the pace. He cruises to the front. He's a little bit green the final 1/8 of a mile, but all in all, solid buyer speed figure, nice running style. This colt's got some potential.
He does. He runs really well in here. And he just stuck to those leaders, and they were actually racing a little bit. He just stuck to them, wouldn't let them get away. And was just way better than them through the stretch. Just another really, really good performance. And I think you have to like that it came over the track.
Stronghold in number 5 was a maiden graduate second time out, then ran into arguably the best 3-year-old in the country, Nisos, in the Bob Hope sprinting. And then they ran him 2 turns to conclude his 2-year-old campaign in the Los Alamitos Futurity. You can't complain about this trip, Mike. He basically sat the pocket. The rail opens up. He shoots on through this long stretch, and he just can't get it done over a horse that came back and didn't really run very well at Oaklawn, albeit over a wet track.
I don't know what to do with this horse, Dan. He obviously runs fine in here, and maybe this race in and of itself is good enough to make him the favorite and horse to beat in this race, Dan. But this race is hard to evaluate. First of all, the 2 Baffert horses who got bet in here were both basically no-shows. They didn't run well at all. And then the Baffert horse that won it, Winstock, just doesn't seem like he's any good. I don't really know what to do there with Stronghold. It's a good spot for him to be sure. I guess 5-2 would be good. I think you're going to be asked to take shorter than that.
A Lot of Luck is the number 6. He took the measure of No Trouble in his career debut with a pace-pressing sprint win, then ran second to Lucky Jeremy in the race we showed when we discussed Lucky Jeremy. Now, as you mentioned, there was a lot of racing going on that day, and he was part of the pace. This horse is pretty quick. Maybe he's the speed of the speed.
He might be. This horse, I thought he ran really well last time. And listen, he didn't run as well as Lucky Jeremy, and he wasn't as good as that horse, but this horse ran fine last time, stretching out off of a maiden win. And that maiden win at Zia, that was a good performance. I mean, he was sharp in that race. He won that race for fun. He still looked green in that spot too. He took a step forward last time, another step forward here. He's right in the mix.
The number 7, Durango, he's tough to like on paper. He won 2 starts back, but it was a $7,500 maiden claimer over a sloppy track sprinting, and he only won by a neck. They tried Lucky Jeremy last time out off the claim. It didn't work out. They're keeping the faith.
Feel free to take it from here, Dan. I'm not even going to try to make a case for this horse.
I can make a case for the 8 Informed Patriot, however, for Steve Asmussen. This horse already has 3 route races under his girth, and I liked his performance in this race. The Smarty Jones last time out, he was traveling very sweetly down towards the inside on the turn, and he tries to squeeze on through here, and really the rail isn't there for him. He's eventually going to get to the outside and be over and behind horses. I thought he ran pretty well in here.
Yeah, isn't that just a race where you just want to make the case that if he gets through on the rail, and obviously it would have been a perfect trip time, but doesn't he win this race? I mean, he's in tight. The 1-2 finishers get the jump on him on the outside, and you just can't re-rally to catch them. But I don't know, man. I just thought he was going to win with a better trip that day. His street sense was also good. 3 back when he's part of a fast pace in a race that goes to a closer. 2 back, he's in an allowance race that's probably tougher than either of the 2 stakes races he ran in, and he ran really well that day too. This is a great spot for this one.
Joel Rosario comes in to take the man for Steve Asmussen, and unlike last time, going to get some clean air breaking from the outside post and maybe a solid pace to attack when it counts. Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top Pick Time, Sunland Park Derby. Mike, you're going with the horse on the outside. That's the 8 Informed Patriot. I think 3-1 is fair.
Yeah, I do too. I like this spot for this horse. I think there's a good trip coming for him in this race, and I'm just hoping he's not the favorite.
I don't want to take stronghold in anything under 2-1. Unfortunately, I think I might have to accept that. I'll give him one more chance. That long stretch at Los Alamitos might not have worked. I think they're going to actually try to rate him a little bit behind the speeds and make a run. 8-4-5-6 for Mike, 5-4-8-6 for me. Grade 3 Sunland Derby at Sunland Park's big day on Sunday. Good luck.